When it comes to putting art on a shirt and you're trying to determine, does it look good? You don't need the whole thing to look good. You need balance. You can have like 20% of it that looks kind of bad and 20% of it that looks really awesome. Like some details in here where the lines are really interesting. That might be what carries the shirt. If the whole thing looked like this, it would look commonplace and not impressive anymore. So there needs to be like a focal point for your eye to find that is like, that little moment right there is magical because it's nowhere else on the shirt, and that's really delightful. So that must have been difficult to achieve. So sometimes the part that you're disappointed with because it doesn't match your expectations is the part that sets up the really awesome section to be even better. So it's all about context and balance. I'm really trying to hype myself up here because I'm feeling a little bit of negative emotion today, and I only have this one shirt to untie right now, which if you're in a negative mood or neutral and you only have one shirt to untie and then you don't like how it turns out, it's like, I needed you to help me out here. I needed you to be exciting. Sometimes the sinew breaks partially, and then I use the seam ripper to like cut the little threads that are hanging on. You have to be careful though, because the seam ripper usually has a really pointy part, and if you slip, you can poke into your shirt and make a hole. So my little pointy part is broken off. So I'm less likely now to make unintended holes, as if any of them are ever intended. But I had a thought. I struggle a little bit with in-person conversations, and like I can't think real well when I'm looking at somebody. I definitely can't talk and look at a person at the same time. So I think some people find it interesting that I would enjoy posting so many like talking videos on the internet. But the thing is, like, there's nobody in the room with me right now. Socially, I'm alone, enjoying my hobby, talking to myself, basically. I'm just enjoying myself and turning on the camera to document the process. Does anyone else feel like that? On this shirt, I just used the primary colors and Better Black from Dharma. So that's turquoise, lemon yellow, and fuchsia red. I didn't use a lot of yellow, just a little bit. And I put the turquoise and the yellow on at the same time, directly on the shirt before the ice. So I was trying to do this. It worked right here. Well, maybe it didn't. I think that's just between the lines. But anyway, I was trying to fill the lines with blue. I mean, it worked in the sense that the blue filled areas where the red did not. The red and the black couldn't go that far for two reasons. The molecules move differently. Blue always bleeds a little farther. Red bleeds like the least distance. And also the blue was applied first to a mostly dry shirt. So it like got supercharged in farther. And so by the time the red and the black were there, the shirt's already wet. So there's no more space for more liquid to get into those tight spots. That is the beauty of the cold mist application method that I used to do before my sprayer broke. Layering in those colors intentionally to make that effect more dramatic of lines of color next to each other, rings of color, instead of just having like a white line and then a color. I want to have like blue, green, red, black if possible. It's happened a few times, that like really magical amount of color variety. Okay, the areas where it's basically just fuchsia, I'm not a big fan of those, but maybe once the shirt is washed and dried and hung up, all my fears will melt away. Oh, there's a really, really nice spot right there. Can we see that? So this is what I'm talking about with the lines. There's blue, white, green, a dark shadowy effect, a grayish, a red. Like that's what I want the whole shirt to look like. It's only happened a few times, but that's cool. It's cool that I got that with ice today because I used to just get it for the most part with cold mist, but I think I have been able to figure out why the cold mist worked and then apply some of that to ice in terms of like when I'm applying what colors with the ice, whether the shirt is dry, when to put soda ash on. There's so many variables. It can like take a long time to figure things out like that. You have to dye a lot of things to start seeing those patterns, and then you gotta pay attention to what's happening. It helps if you take pictures and document the process. I've dyed a lot of things and then not paid attention. Like if I dye a batch of like 5 or 10 things at one time and also don't write anything down or take any pictures, like it was kind of just a waste because I won't be in touch with any of that information. I won't remember it. I'm trying to build intuition about what to do, how to achieve what I'm going for. And I think that's best achieved through dyeing one thing at a time and paying attention to the results and keeping track. All right. Yeah, it's good. That money spot right there is on the front. Usually like the best spot ends up being on the back, so good. Here's the front of the shirt, and you can see how the blue fills the line a little more than the red and the black. Overall, I like it, and here's the back.